Okay, so today we're doing 1.7, which is all about transformations in the coordinate plane. So, transformation is an all-encompassing word. It is going to be a change in the position, size, or even the shape of a figure. Now, when we're performing these transformations, we have what is called an image and a pre-image. So the original figure is called the pre-image, and then whatever figure results after you do the transformation, that is called the image. A transformation is going to map, we say that it maps the pre-image to the image. So I'm going to highlight that word, that it maps the pre-image to the image. And we use arrow notation. And then we're also going to use what are called primes. You're going to notice in that diagram below that the pre-image has just A, B, and C. And then with the actual image, there are these little marks. They look like what? Apostrophes, right? They look like apostrophes. The way that you read that is A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, so the pre-image is just A, B, and C. Here's our arrow notation. So this is what the original image was, and then according to our transformation, this is our new image, okay, which is A prime, B prime, C prime. Notice even below it shows you how it maps. So triangle ABC maps to the triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, so that's just a little bit about the notation and about the language. Now we're going to talk about what types of transformations we are going to see today. So the first one is a reflection. A common word for a reflection is a what? A flip. Okay, so a reflection or a flip is going to be a transformation across a line. Whatever that line is called the line of refraction. Yes?
Would you control targets the opposite thing?
Yes, I will. And I'll post that as well. Okay, so the line is called the line of reflection. Do you know what common lines of reflection are?
Share the same reflection.
No, but what's a common line that's reflected? Okay, yes, the x and the y axis. Okay, and then also y equals x is 1. Then you'll see it flipped across. It actually has a special relationship. So each point and its image are going to be the same distance from the line of reflection. So if this was on a coordinate plane, I'd be able to count. And if this was 3 units away to the left, then B prime would be 3 units away, but to the what?
Right.
To the right. Okay, so they're the same distance from the line. Okay, so what's the relationship to the line? They are the same distance. Okay? All right, that's a reflection. The next thing is a rotation. So a rotation or a turn is a transformation about a point P. So when we say about a point, that means that's what you're turning it around. Okay, so if you look in the picture, here's my point P. Everything is going to be rotated around that point. Okay, and that is called the center of rotation. So think about a carousel, right? When a carousel rotates, you have a center of the carousel. Everything is rotating around that center. Each point and the image, again, are the same distance from P. So for this one, G and G prime, those would be the same distance from P. P and F prime are gonna be the same distance from P. And they showed you this here, using our notation of the tick marks. Okay, and then the last one is a translation. Okay, and a translation or a
Slide.
slide. Okay, so it is exactly as you would think. You could just slide this across the paper. If this was an object that was 3D, you'd be able to slide it on top of the translation. So all points of the figure are moving the same distance in the same direction. So if your first point, point J, moved 5 units to the right and 2 units up, all of the rest of the points would move 5 units to the right, 2 units up. Okay, so they're all going to be moving the same distance in the same direction. Okay, so if you look at the back, it says identify each transformation. You're going to use arrow notation to describe the transformation. I'm pretty confident that you guys can give this a try. So at the very least, I want you to try to identify the transformation. So we learned about 3 types of transformations. Baron, remind us real quick, what are the 3 types?
Translation, rotation, and slide.
No. Translation, rotation, and?
Reflection.
Good, reflection. Okay, so that's what you have to tell me for both of those.
Slide to the left.
So for both, I just want you to see if you can tell me if it's a translation, a rotation, or a reflection. Hey, Sam, what are you thinking about for A? Okay, good. And how did you know that? Okay, so it's being moved, but it's not spinning, so it's not a rotation. How do you know it's not a reflection? Okay, yeah, so you have M and P and N and O, they are moving the same distance in the same direction. So that is a translation. I'm going to help you guys with the arrow notation. So your arrow notation is simply going to be naming the figure. And if you can, we just like to go in alphabetical order. And it's not wrong if you don't. You would just have to go the same order in both of them. Okay, so this is MNOP, and that would translate to M prime, N prime, O prime, P prime. Okay, and you do have to keep that order the same. M is what's going to M prime, P is what's going to P prime. So notice how those are in the same position in my statement. Okay, then for B, that is a rotation. Okay, B is a rotation. You cannot slide it without turning the figure. And then do you think you guys can write your arrow notation? Okay, give it a try if you haven't already. Okay, and with this one, because it is an actual shape we have a symbol for, we're going to use that symbol. Because these are triangles, right? Okay, so we're just going to draw a little triangle in front. If it's a quadrilateral, like a rectangle or a square, you don't have to put the shape in front of it. Okay, Tony, you want to tell me what you wrote?
I wrote X, Y, and Z, and then an arrow pointing to X prime. X prime, Y prime, and Z prime.
Okay, good. And then just if you guys did not put your triangles in there, go ahead and put them in there. So because this one does have a symbol, you are going to put the triangle. Okay, so the triangle to the right. Okay, questions for me on that one? Alright. Let's go to the last page.
But there's still one under.
Oh, sorry, getting a little ahead of myself. Alright, so our next example, it says a figure has vertices at A, B, and C. After transformation, the image has vertices at A prime, B prime, C prime. Draw the pre-image and image, then identify the transformation. I'm gonna give you some time right now to reread that, and then I want you to plot the points. Okay, do you guys need any more time to plot your points? Okay, so look at your picture, see if it matches mine. If not, we're just gonna check our points, okay? And then you need to tell me if it's a rotation, a transformation, or a reflection. Avery, did you already answer that? Okay, what were you thinking?
A reflection.
Okay, and then, do any of you know what is the line of reflection in this case? Is that, yeah, Ethan?
Y-axis.
Yeah, so it is a reflection. And so we would say it is a reflection across the y-axis. I want you to take a second, and I want you to look at those points and see if there's any kind of pattern that you notice. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to think about it. Okay, so Brandon, what did you notice, if anything?
Well, the X number is different, the opposite.
Okay, so if you look at all the x coordinates, they're all opposites, and that's a good use of terminology, right? 4 to -4, 2 to -2, 1 to -1. They're all opposites. But the y's are all what? The y's are the same. So if it's a reflection across the y-axis, the x-coordinate's the opposite. And then Tanner, tell me what you think happens when there's a reflection across the x-axis.
The Y goes to
Okay, so then the y's are going to become opposites. Okay? Good. So I just wrote that little note down for you. So notice that the x-coordinates change for a reflection across the y-axis. Okay, so you can use that. Okay, now we can go to the back page. And I'm gonna give you about 10 seconds to read through that example. Okay, so Caitlin, after reading the directions, what are we doing for this problem?
For the x, y, you're gonna add 2, and the y, you're gonna minus 2.
Okay, and yeah, what are we trying to find?
The a prime equals.
Yeah, so we're trying to find the coordinates for the image after the translation. And I see some of you guys already drew a picture, and that's awesome. So when it says x comma y, x minus 2, y plus 4, the x minus 2, can anybody tell me what that means on your graph? Aiden, why don't you tell me? Tell me what the x minus 2 means.
That means it goes to the left too.
Okay, so you're just moving all the x coordinates to the left too. Okay, Kaylee, what do you think the y plus 4 means?
That you're gonna move up 4.
Yep, so each point you're gonna move to the left 2 and then up 4. So you can either do that on your grid and you can go ahead and plot them and find what those points are going to be. Or you can just take the original point and you can subtract 2 from the x and you can add 4 to the y. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, for J, if I look at my diagram, I can see that J is at 1, 1. Okay, so then if J started at 1, 1, I can do 1 minus 2, which is what? Negative 1, and then I can do 1 plus 4, which would be 5. Okay, so you can do that with all 3. So I'll give you a second to do that. And if you didn't write it as mapping, will you do that for me? So J maps to J prime. Okay, so if you've already found the points, just go ahead and write them in a mapping fashion. Okay, so for K prime, you should have got 1, 5. Luke, what'd you get for L prime?
1-0.
All right, great. Okay, and then Grace, what'd you get for M prime?
I did 1-0.
That, great. How'd you guys do? Good? Okay, so you can choose. You can either use the coordinate plane, so I know a lot of you did that, which is great, or you can plug in the coordinate to find the image. If you are using the coordinate plane, when you do this, make sure that you're labeling. So this would be 1, 2, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where your first one would be. This is J. And then you'd want to keep going through and then labeling them. So this would be over 2 of 5, which is where your K would be. And L would be up 4 and then over 2. Okay, so this would be J prime, K prime, M prime, L prime. And you can choose. If you can do it without using the coordinate plane, feel free. If you like it, and you can use it. Do we know what kind of transformation this would be? Yep, a translation. It even tells you in there. All right. So I'm going to give you the rest of the time to work on your homework. It is up on the board. And when is your chapter 1 test? When's your chapter 1 test? Tuesday.